This man was diagnosed with a terminal illness, yet he framed his own son and sent him to prison. He secretly followed his estranged son, then the very next day planted the murder weapon in his son's house. He smeared the victim's blood on his son's clothes and dumped them in a nearby dumpster. Now he had completed his plan. Just as expected, the police discovered the crime scene and followed the clues straight to the man's son. Jack was quickly brought to the police station for questioning. But Jack insisted he had only threatened the guy, he hadn't actually killed him. That's when the cops pulled out the murder weapon they'd found during the search of his house. Jack was completely stunned. He instantly became the prime suspect. But to understand how it all went down, we need to go back to yesterday. Wayne suddenly saw his son show up at his door, covered in blood and looking terrified. He immediately knew his son was in serious trouble, so he brought Jack inside. Turns out Jack had killed the man who hurt his daughter. Since Wayne used to be a hitman back in the day, and Jack was completely desperate with nowhere else to turn, he came begging his father to help cover up the truth. Even though they'd cut ties, Wayne agreed to help. He told Jack to hand over the murder weapon, then had him clean himself up and go home, pretending like nothing ever happened. While Wayne had plenty of experience with this kind of thing, there was one major problem. He'd recently been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. His memory was deteriorating fast, and he had to take care of this mess before he forgot everything. After Jack left, Wayne headed to the crime scene. Worried he might forget important details, he carefully wrote everything down in a notebook. Then he got to work. But instead of cleaning up the scene, he collected some of the victim's blood. Next, he snuck into the building's security office and tampered with the surveillance footage. After finishing everything, he rushed back home. He carefully preserved the glass his son had touched, then put the blood in the freezer. He wiped the fingerprints clean from the fruit knife and threw Jack's clothes in the washing machine. The next day, he put his plan into motion. He smeared the frozen victim's blood on Jack's clothes, then sprinkled pepper powder on the glass his son had touched. Using tape, he lifted the fingerprints from the glass and transferred them onto the fruit knife. Then he called Jack out to meet him, warning him that when the investigation started, no matter what he heard, he had to stay calm and act like he knew nothing. But after they parted ways, Wayne secretly followed him and noted down Jack's home address. The next day, he snuck into Jack's place and hid the fruit knife in an air vent. To make sure it would be easily discovered, he deliberately left the screws loose. Then he tossed the blood-stained clothes in a nearby dumpster. Later, Wayne went to visit Jack in jail, constantly rehearsing what he was going to say. When Jack saw his father, he was incredibly upset. He couldn't understand how things had gotten this bad. His father had promised to help him, but now the police had the murder weapon. So he started questioning his father about what went wrong.
I went to you for help. Why would you do this to me?
You're the reason I went to prison.
What?
The tax evasion thing. You're the one who ratted me out.
What the hell? I didn't know anything about you back then.
I did 6 years because of you.